Oh my gosh! Life. Hello everybody and welcome to the Best of Beauty 2016 edition. Hey! I hope you guys had an amazing holiday season. I took off the entire time pretty much. I mean, not from like actual work. Well, I did for like 5 days, but I did from YouTube and basically social media. Like I wasn't really active on Instagram too much. Am I being total liar face right now? Because I definitely posted a lot around Christmas. But anyways, from like Christmas Eve to New Year's-ish, I just decided to not film, not post videos, just kind of chill, be with my family. We were all together basically every single day. It was really nice. My brother took off a lot of work, which he never does. Thank God there wasn't too much family drama. I feel like everybody that I talked to the past couple of days is like, oh my God, I hate my family. Like there was so much drama. But anyways, I hope you guys had an amazing holiday season. I swear to God, I was not at all prepared for 2017. This year just like smacked me in the face like a ton of bricks. I was just like, I wasn't ready. I swear, like on January 2nd, everyone was like, what's your New Year's resolution? New year, new me. And I was on the couch eating Christmas cookies and I was just like, what? Very dramatic and not true at all. The past, I would say 5 or 6 days have honestly been some of the most stressful days I've had in probably 2 years. It's just been a lot. I have been just under a lot of pressure, going through a lot of stuff outside of YouTube, and it's just been, whew, it's been heavy, it's been intense, but I am so happy to be here on camera with you guys right now. So happy to be filming my first video of 2017. Very much looking forward to this year, even though it started really rocky and really bumpy, and I was like, writing the date like on some papers that I was signing a couple days ago, and I was just like, what? Like I was not ready. I don't have a New Year's resolution. Like I don't even know what's going on. Okay, enough rambling. Let's jump into this video. If you guys aren't familiar with the Best of Beauty, this video is basically just a roundup of all my favorite standout products from the entire year of 2016. You guys get the drill. These are products that I love, that stand out, that I would recommend to a friend, and of course to you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. That was so lame. And get started. Like, Jaclyn, get it together. So as always, I'm gonna go in the order of the way things are applied to the face. So I'm gonna start off with primers. And the first primer that really stands out to me when I think of the whole year of 2016 is the Elsie Pearl Radiance Primer. It doesn't have a cap. I hate that, but it just doesn't look as pretty when I hold it up. It's just like, ooh. This primer is one of my favorite primers I've personally ever used on my skin type. I swear it fills in fine lines and wrinkles and pores, and it just smooths it out and gives it this pearlescence glow, and it's beautiful. It's just a really, I don't want to call it basic, but I want to call it like universal. It's a very universal primer. The second primer which stands out to me, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned this last year because I've been using this for probably about 2 years now, and this is the Makeup Forever Step 1 Smoothing Primer. So there's all different ones. I think they came out with like 10 different primers. So I use a tiny amount, and I'll only put it in the center of my face. If you guys watch my makeup tutorials, you'll see me do that sometimes. I'll apply a primer all over my face, and then I'll take this one and just a tiny little pea-size amount, and I'll put it just on like the center of my cheeks, kind of like my smile lines and the center of my nose, because it'll just smooth out like that problem area, like where I might have some texture or bigger, larger pores, and it just makes it look so smooth. It makes the foundation glide on. So this is another one. I swear I'm gonna be using this forever. I don't put it on my entire face because I feel like it kind of mats me out and almost makes me look too smooth. The smoothness where it just kind of looks too flat. So I don't put it all over my face anymore. I just put it in the specific areas. The last one, which is like my current obsession, is this Guerlain primer. And I don't even technically know what it's called, but oh my gosh, you guys, this is beautiful. Now it is really expensive, but everybody was talking about it, and I'm totally a sucker when I see everyone posting on Instagram with like their pretty nails. So I'm like, oh crap, it's gotta be mine now. It just looks beautiful, I have to have it. I'm such a sucker. So I bought this because everyone was recommending it, and I love it. So hydrating, and it makes my makeup just look fresh all day. That's really all there is to say about it. I would get online and actually look at the bullet points, and I'm sure all of them are true because every single time I apply this, it feels so good. It's like a gel consistency, and this might sound crazy, but it actually feels kind of cooling when I apply it to the skin. It feels very refreshing, and it just makes my skin look radiant and kind of dewy throughout the day, but never oily, just dewy. Let's move on to foundation. I have 3 foundations. I had to narrow it down. I was just like, of course, sitting in my vanity like, oh God, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, like trying to figure out what foundations to narrow it down to because I was a foundation junkie in the year of 2016. I was trying so many, some I absolutely hated, some I loved, so I picked out my top 3. So the first one that stands out for sure is the Josie Maran Vibrancy Foundation. Oh my God! When I fell in love with this, I fell in love with it hard. It is a more satiny to dewy coverage? Finish. Wow. It just looked so dewy, but not like oily and greasy, and it didn't like sink into all my little fine lines and pores and just emphasize everything like some satin dewy foundations will do. This one just looked beautiful on my skin. I recommended it to everybody. Like honestly, so many of my friends were wearing this for months because we all loved it. And then something happened and the weather changed and we all started using different foundation. The second one is the La Mer Treatment Fluid Foundation. I will say that this one is very expensive and it does not have that big of a color range at all. Like when I went to pick out my color, I was like, but wait, like right now, I can't even wear this because they don't even sell a color that comes in my skin tone. Like they literally don't have my color right now being this fair. So they do not have a great color range, which I wish they would change because this foundation is really, really, really beautiful. It has an SPF of 15 in it. It is a medium to full coverage. It's actually very similar to the Josie Maran foundation. I really couldn't pick which one I like better because they're the same, but yet they're different, but it's hard to explain with your words why they're different. Does that make sense? Because they're both a dewy to satin finish. They're both a medium to full coverage, but they are somehow different, but they're both beautiful. So if you're gonna try one, I would definitely go with the Josie Maran one first because it's not gonna be as expensive, and I'm sure that there's a lot more shade range than the La Mer, because I was like, why are there like 4 shades? Like there's a lot of different skin tones out there. Like the world is filled with like billions of people. Why do you have 4 shades? The last foundation that stands out to me in 2016, which is the one that I'm currently using and absolutely obsessed with, and it is the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation. Oh my God. If I had to choose the most universal one out of all 3 foundations I talked about, it would be this one right here, the Hourglass Vanish. I've been using this one for months at this point. I have it in almost every single color because I go from like extremely, extremely fair, and then when I can get tan, I can get to like pretty dark. So I have like 7 shades in this foundation, I think at this point, because I want it to be able to match me at all times because it is my #1 go-to. So it literally rolls up like this in a triangle shape. You just draw lines on your face. And the thing that I love about this is even if I put on so much, like even if I just sat there and drew it all over my face, for some reason, it still doesn't look cakey. It's like the foundation builds on top of itself beautifully. Like you know how some foundations, you'll put on a layer, you'll try to build it, you'll be like, okay, but you'll be like, today is not a good day. Like mama needs a full coverage. This one, that's what I love about it, is if I want to get like so full coverage that it's like layers of like cake, you can do that with the Hourglass Vanish. And I think that's one of my favorite things about it because deep down inside, I am a drag queen. Sorry, not sorry. As for concealer, there is only one concealer that sticks out to me in 2016. You guys already know what it is. It is the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. And no, I don't know why it's called Shape Tape. I really don't get it. I get comments all the time from people being like, why is it called Shape Tape? And I'm like, I don't know. I didn't name it. I have no idea. This is hands down the best concealer I've ever used in my life. I want to do a video soon of like the everyday makeup that I've been wearing recently because I have been extremely busy recently doing a lot of things, like a lot of meetings and stuff where I actually have to look somewhat presentable, but I don't have time to wake up. Let me rephrase that. I don't want to wake up and do a full glam. And where I'm getting at with this is I will use this concealer underneath my eyes and I don't even set it on those days when I'm moving quickly. And that's what's so amazing about the Shape Tape is it sets itself. So you don't have to go with a powder or a translucent powder and set it. I always do when I'm doing a full face just because it will give like that flawless finish. But I'll put this on my under eyes and not even set it with anything. My mascara won't run on it, like it won't slip and slide, it won't crease, like it sets itself. It is so full coverage. It's definitely a natural to matte finish. It's not really dewy, it's not sticky. I'm telling you, Tarte just came out of nowhere and just like boom, crashed everyone and killed the concealer game. It is bomb. Okay, yes, honey, we're gonna move on to face powders next. I have 3 powders. Wait, no, 4. Wait, 5. I have 5 face powders that really stand out to me for the entire year. And the first one was the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Face Powder. This is a really, really beautiful natural to satin finish face powder. I would say it is a sheer to medium coverage. It gives you a really nice radiance, no sparkle, no shimmer though. Just a very natural radiance, and again, it's very sheer, so it's not gonna make the foundation look cakey whatsoever. It is the most expensive powder that I have in here, but it is gorgeous, and in my opinion, very worth it. Next powder that I have is the Lancome Absolute powder, and this is in the shade Absolute Golden, and it does come in 2 shades or maybe 3. I'm not really sure. Now, for instance, right now I cannot use this powder at all. This would look like a hot pink rosy mess on my face because I am so fair at the moment, but when I had a tan, this looked so pretty. Now this powder actually has a literal glow to it, like it has a shimmer in it, but in the best way possible. I don't know if you'll really be able to see on camera the shimmer that this powder has, but when it's applied with a really big brush, it doesn't look shimmery or glittery. It just looks so radiant, and I loved using this powder in the summertime. I got so many compliments from people all the time asking me, oh my gosh, what are you using? Your skin is just glowing. And I'm like, oh my god, it's this powder. The third face powder that I fell back in love with, this is an oldie but a goodie. I literally have it in its old school packaging. I'm pretty sure that I've had this color since I worked at MAC. This is the Mineralized Skin Finish Natural. I love this powder. It is beautiful. It's a mineral, so it can be used wet or dry. It's a really beautiful natural kind of satin glowy finish. If you are oily, you probably won't like this because back in the day when I was doing makeup, like I would say back in the day, like it was years and years ago, but a couple years ago when I was still actively doing makeup on clients all the time, I would not put this on people with oily skin, especially on your wedding day, because if you are oily, this is not going to combat or oil control whatsoever. But if you are dry to normal and looking for a really sheer, beautiful powder, I would go with this one. It's going to give you radiance. It's a really good dupe, in my opinion, for the Giorgio Armani powder. Then for translucent powders, hands down, this was the year of the RCMA No Color Translucent Powder. I have it in a Sephora package right now because the packaging for RCMA, I am sorry to say it is not good. It's very easy to waste product. It comes in this thing where you have to like tap it out, and I was constantly feeling like I was like being messy with it and I was losing product. So I took apart one of my old Sephora powders that I was not using at all. Like I pulled out the inner cap with tweezers, poured out the old powder that I was not using anymore, and just refilled it with the RCMA No Color powder, and now I use it just like this, and it's just made my life so much easier. It's one of the best translucent powders I've ever used in my life. It does not give me a white cast. Now it will if I apply an insane amount. Like if I just keep going over like I had before, just like just doing way too much, yes, you'll get a white cast. But if you're applying it with like a damp beauty sponge and you're applying a small amount, you should not be getting a white cast with this powder. It's beautiful, and it is not as dry as other translucent powders, which is why I personally love it. If you're oily, I would really recommend the Laura Mercier the Laura Mercier translucent powder. It will be amazing if you have oily skin. Last but not least, I started using this in the beginning of December, I would say, and this is the Cover FX translucent powder in the shade Light. Oh my gosh, it's technically called the Perfecting Setting Powder. You guys, oh my gosh. This is what I use to set my face basically every single day right now. Currently, it's what I use today. I just use a huge giant powder brush and set my entire face with it. I'll also set my under eyes. It's beautiful. It's got a subtle radiance to it, no shimmer, no sparkle, but I just think in my opinion it's got a radiance because it's not so dry that it just feels like, I don't know, it just gives life to your skin. And I don't really feel like I've ever used a translucent powder to give life to my skin. They always kind of dull your skin down, but not this one. Somehow it just makes your skin still look radiant. I just love this powder. Let's talk about bronzers. I think that's a good place to go to now. Number one, I know you guys, I have talked about this product so many times on my channel. I mean, this is one of the first like really high price like designer items I ever bought as far as cosmetics, and I swear I am still so beyond obsessed with it constantly. It doesn't matter what time of year, I love this product so much, and it is the Chanel Soleil Tan de Chanel Bronzer. So this is a cream bronzer. It doesn't actually say this, but I like to think of it as a cream to powder bronzer because once you apply it, it does not feel and look like a cream. It sets very quickly and looks and feels more like a powder on the face. It only comes in one color, and this is it right here. It's a universal bronze shade. So if you are really dark, this is gonna be not a bronzer at all. But for someone who's fair to medium skin tone, it's gonna bronze you up. It's beautiful. I wish they would come out with several more shades for all different skin tones because it is so beautiful. It's the best cream bronzer I've ever used in my life. And I know a lot of people when they think of creams, they think like, oh, it can be intimidating and scary, and I get that, but not this one. It just blends like a dream. You can just use a foundation brush, like any synthetic brush, dip it in there and just blend it out, and it just looks so beautiful, and it's so easy to apply, and it's so fast, and it It looks so natural on the skin. Next bronzer, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in my last year's Best of Beauty video, but I'm gonna mention it again because it was one of my favorite bronzers of the year, and it goes to show it's an amazing product, and I feel like this is gonna be one of my top bronzers for the rest of my life, and this is the Makeup Forever Waterproof Bronzer. What I love about this is it has a little bit of shimmer in it, but when you apply it, you would never ever see it. Like when I look at it right now, I'm like, oh yeah, there it is. There's like tiny little gold flecks, but I never ever notice them on my cheeks. It just looks so natural, and it's got a little bit of a sheen to it, but not really, not like a sheen. Like I'm wearing it right now in a different shade. It's very creamy. It does not feel like an actual powder. Like it feels like a watery, creamy powder. I don't know how to explain it, but it feels amazing, and it just blends amazing. It lasts forever. It's waterproof, so he can take you swimming and, you know, you'll be fine. MAC Give Me Sun. This is an oldie but a goodie. Oh my goodness, I fell back in love with it this summer. I was actually working at MAC when Give Me Sun bronzer came out, and I fell in love with it because at the time I was like Oompa Loompa, so I was like, yes, a bronzer that's my color! And I was so excited because I was so orange. Good times. This is a really beautiful bronzer. It will look orange on you if you are not tanner than me. If I tried to use this right now, it would look like orange on my face. But this is a beautiful color in the summertime, especially if you have a little bit of a tan going already. It just looks really, really pretty. The last bronzer that really stood out to me in 2016 was definitely the Becca Multitasking Perfecting Powder. This is in the shade Warm Honey. This was the color that I was using when I was my darkest in the summertime, but I do have several different shades depending how dark or light my skin is at the moment. This has got to be one of the creamiest powders I've ever used. I mean, every time I touch it, I'm just like, oh my god. So pigmented, so creamy, so smooth, so blendable. It's just really beautiful. They have all different shades for contour colors, bronzer colors, and then they also have really light shades for like under eye setting powders as well. And definitely a standout product because they're so creamy and easy to blend. So sticking with the face, let's move on to blushes. It's actually kind of embarrassing how few blushes I have for this year, because the whole year I was just kind of basic when it came to blushes. I wasn't really experimenting or excited about any new shades. There were no like awesome blushes that really came out. I feel like no one really cared. Everyone was developing highlighters, I feel. No one really cared too much about blush in 2016, except these did launch in 2016, and they are phenomenal, and they are by Marc Jacobs. So of course they're gonna be pricey, but I'm still gonna mention them because they're gorgeous. This is in the shade 502 Lines and Last Night. This is my personal favorite right here because it is a corally peachy shade. And then like this coral color is a matte shade, but then like the lighter shade is more of like a satiny peachy shade. So when you mix it together, it just gives you like a really, really pretty kind of peachy glow. And they just blend so beautifully. They're not too pigmented because you know how sometimes people will be like, look at how pigmented this blush is. And it's like so pigmented that you're like, what the hell am I supposed to do with that? Like, I don't want a blush that I'm like scared to dip my brush in because it's gonna give me clown cheeks. The other two things that I use for sure, you guys saw me use this on camera constantly, were the Morphe blush palettes in the 9B and the 9N. The 9B I've been using for so long. I've gone through 2 palettes. This is my second one. Looks like this right here. I usually, no, that's a lie. I was gonna say I usually only use the ones on the top 2 rows, but that's a lie. I use these 2 all the time. They're so pigmented, but again, in a good way. They're not like scary pigmented. Like if I give you a little swatch right there, you can see. Or like if I swatch this one right down here, you can see how they are. They're pigmented, but they're not too much. There's some shimmers and there's also some mattes. I swear these are the 2 palettes that I use the most in the entire year. And then this one is more of a corally, kind of paler, mauve-y one. Very fall appropriate, and this is the one that I've been using a lot recently. This palette actually reminds me of like MAC Melba, MAC Peaches, kind of like MAC Spring Sheen right here. This reminds me of the colors that I always reach for in my MAC palette that I have at home, which is the 9N. So those 2 are honestly what I use the most in the whole year of 2016, other than just like my single MAC blushes. So now for highlighters. This was the part where I was at my vanity like flipping out. I narrowed it down to my staples of the whole year. I'm gonna start off with the one that you guys have heard me rave about a million times just to get out of the way, which is the Balm Mary Luminizer. It's amazing. If you guys are looking for a beautiful highlighter, this is it right here. It is a staple in the cosmetic industry. It is so gorgeous. It's a really nice vanilla shade. If you are extremely fair though, something I have learned, this is not gonna give you that beaming glow. Like The color that I am right now, my skin tone is very fair. I'm using the lightest shade foundation in basically every single brand right now. So the Mary Luminizer doesn't really give me that beaming highlight. It gives me more of like a natural looking highlight because it's kind of the same color as my skin. So it doesn't really beam on me right now. So if you're really, really fair, I wouldn't actually recommend that for you. I'd recommend it to you if you've got a little color in your skin, then it is just like beaming, beautiful, vanilla highlight. The second one of the year that I use a lot, and I honestly don't even know if this is still available or if it was limited, but this is the Bobbi Brown Highlighting Powder in Afternoon Glow, and it looks like this. Again, this is a color that if you're super duper fair, like the shade that I am right now, it's gonna be more of like a cheek color that's gonna go over top because it does have a pink undertone in it, but it is like a vibrant, beautiful shining highlight. But as you can see on my very fair hand, it does have like a tint of pink in it, so you would have to have some color. Because I've gotten so used to being so fair the past several weeks, I've now seen like, oh yeah, these kinds of things don't work for me now. Like I've had to kind of relearn how to do my makeup with this color skin. It's actually been kind of fun because I've gotten to use different products and embrace different products that I haven't with a spray tan, so I've been enjoying it. So Afternoon Glow, this is beautiful. I don't know if it's still available, but I loved this highlighter. The next one is by Jouer, and it is in the shade, that compact looks beaten up. It's in the shade Citrine, and I'm sure you guys saw tons of people talking about this all over social media. It is very vibrant, very creamy, very beautiful. It's got a little bit of a golden undertone in it right there, as you can see, but it's not too golden. Like you can wear it if you're really light in skin tone. Not too much of a yellowy or bronzy undertone, just a nice neutral pale gold. This right here is probably the most standout highlighting product of the year, and no, it's not Champagne Pop or the Champagne Face Palette. I didn't want to talk about anything Champagne Pop in this video because it's obviously a favorite, and I feel like what's the point of just constantly being like, oh my god, Champagne Pop! Like, I know, you guys get it, you've been very supportive. I'm forever grateful for how much you guys have loved Champagne Pop, but I feel like we've talked about it so much, it's like I don't need to talk about it again in this video for you guys to know how much I love Champagne Pop, obviously. But this for sure was a major standout product in the year. This is the Sleek Highlighting Palette right here. The two colors I'm obsessed with are these two guys right here. This kind of like peachy shade, and then this yellow one right here. Then there's a purple lavender shade, and then there's a cream shade that I've never touched in my life. I'm just gonna be honest. But these two right here is what I have mixed on my cheek today. So you can see, if you are a girl who's very fair, as white as snow, you can use this palette to highlight because that's what I have mixed on my cheekbones today, and it's giving that BAM radiance. Next we have the Artist Couture Diamond Glow Powder in the shade Cocoa Bling. So this I actually just started using maybe 3 weeks ago, right before Christmas, I would say, like the week before Christmas, because I saw everybody raving about it, and Angel, the owner of Artist Couture, actually sent it to me, so I was like, oh my god, I feel so cool, like I'm getting the powder that everyone's talking about. And these powders, they're very different. They're not a typical highlighting powder at all. Like, they're called a Diamond Glow Powder for a reason. It's what I have on my brow and my inner corner of my eye. I don't know if you guys can really see it in this lighting, but it literally gives like a diamondy, glowing effect. So something that I've noticed with this is if I spray Fix Plus first on my brush or on my face, it will give, like, it will make it pop even more, and it will also make it last longer. The only complaint that I have with this powder is that if I highlight my cheek with it, it does fade away throughout the day. Unless I use Fix Plus, but the color itself is so stinking gorgeous. It is so blinding. Like, oh my god, as I'm holding it up, I can see the reflection of it like glowing in my camera. It's so beautiful. So I've been using this as my brow highlight recently, and I love it. Last but not least, for highlighting, even though it's technically an eyeshadow palette, I use this so much in the year 2016. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, I have a little bit of this color right here as well on my cheek today. I use the Sleek palette and then a pinch of this first shade right here, just like at that very high point, just to get that extra bam. But this top row, I use this like crazy. I would just use this brush right here, which is the Morphe M510, and I would just go in, pick up some colors, and just go in and highlight my cheeks. My friend Susie, also known as Glamour by Susie on Instagram and on YouTube, she's the one who taught me this trick with this palette. It is the 35E by Morphe. Yes. I love. This is a standout product for me, for sure, because of the fact that I just love things like that. I love using eyeshadows as highlights, and I love using highlight as eyeshadow. The 35E, definitely one of my ride or die when it comes to highlights for the year of 2016. Let's move on to eyes. I feel like we should do eyes and then finish off with lips. When I look at my lip collection, I'm just like, girl, good luck. Okay, so let's start off with like miscellaneous eye products as opposed to starting off with eyeshadow, like random eye products. So I want to talk about mascaras first. I have 4 mascaras for the year 2016 that I loved. And the first one is the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes. It just makes your lashes so voluminous and long and not chunky, but definitely thicker, but not like gloppy in any way. In general, the L'Oreal Voluminous is always my #1 because it is so black. It's the L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black, like it says Carbon Black right there, and it is black as coal. So anytime that I'm going to wear false lashes, which is pretty often, I will always use this as the mascara first and then go on with false lashes, because then you can't see the separation of your false lashes and your natural lashes because your naturals are so black and it just blends in so nicely. Not to mention the wand itself is great. Like if you're looking for just like a great everyday basic mascara that's black as hell, I would use the Voluminous by L'Oreal. Just saying, it's amazing. This mascara I actually just started using religiously maybe the past 6 weeks or so, and it's the Marc Jacobs mascara. It doesn't even have a name on it or anything. Just, oh, Omega Lash, Marc Jacobs Omega Lash. And this, weirdly enough, I've actually been using on my lower lashes, which is like the true test, because I am so picky about what I put on my lower lashes. But I've been using this recently. I love it. It gives your lashes tons of volume. It really thickens them up. And then the last one, of course, is the MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash, which is my go-to for the lower lashes. Top lashes, I absolutely hate the way it looks, just being honest. Unless you're just trying to separate them. Like if I put on too much mascara, I'll go in with this and just kind of separate to get them not looking as like chunky or clumpy. But you can see it's like a really, really tiny skinny wand, and I love it for the lower lashes because it just makes it nice and separated, kind of like elongates them, but it doesn't make them look messy or chunky. And then as far as eyebrows, the Anastasia Brow Definer is the only product that I even allowed to touch my brows in the year of 2016. This little mama should win an award. And they last forever too. And now that my hair is darker, I am using the shade Chocolate. It's all I have in my brows today, is just this and some clear brow gel. Obsessed. As for eyeshadow, I literally have like nothing to show you guys. Oh my god, it's so embarrassing. Okay, let me tell you. Because my sister was over at my house earlier today, we were working on some stuff, and I was like, Rachel, am I missing something? Like, were there any eyeshadow palettes in the year of 2016 that I was like ride or die for? Because anything that I love, I tell my sister like, bitch, you need this. And I'm like, did I tell you about anything? She's like, no, nothing. And then she reminded me why, and I was like, yes. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I have been working very, very, very hard in the year of 2016 on something eyeshadowy. And because of that, I really slacked on trying new shadows, getting dedicated to new shadows, because I was working diligently. And when I say diligently, I'm talking every single day. I was testing and working with new shadows that you guys are gonna see very, very soon. And because of that, I really was not like playing with shadows from other brands like I typically am. I would only use shadows from other brands. I would use those here on camera, but off camera, I would literally, in the entire year of 2016, only use the shadows I'm currently working on, which you guys will see very soon. So because of that, I basically have no shadows to tell you, except just 2 palettes that just came out in December, but I did fall in love with these palettes in December. So the first 2, and I know I'm gonna have people being like, oh my god, it's Morphe, but honestly, you guys, I've been using these like crazy. It's what I'm wearing on my eyes right now. I don't even know what these are technically called. The 25A and the 25B. They're square, they've got the clear fronts. I've never seen anything like this before, especially from Morphe. They're super, super cool. They've got great pigmentation. The price is right. They're beautiful. This one right here has like this gorgeous, this champagne color in the center. I can't. You can see how like dug into it is. The first time I swatched it, I literally opened the palette like a bowl in a china shop and was like, ah, pretty! And I swatched that center color and was like, ah! I didn't realize how creamy they were. Took out a chunk, but really beautiful. Got a lot of purples, some mauves in this. I love this center row of shimmers right here, especially these like chocolatey shimmers. I love those. And then this one I've been using a ton. This is a palette that I'm wearing on my eyes currently right now. You can see it's got a lot of use. I've used this probably, honest to God, 10 times at this point. Every day when I do super fast makeup, I just grab some of these colors right here and toss it in my crease really fast. I've been loving this palette. And then the only other palette that I have for you guys, I'll be honest, I've only used once, but it was one of those palettes that I only needed to use it once, and I was just like, and it is the Queen of Hearts palette by Colored Rain Cosmetics. Oh my goodness. This, like the gold reflective on it makes it kind of hard to see the shadows for what they actually are on camera. The pigmentation is no joke, people. Like, it's out of this world. You see this? You see that? You see that? And when I touched the mattes, I was shocked by how creamy they feel. Like, they're so creamy and pigmented. Like, look at this matte. Look at that. They're gorgeous. They do have a little bit of fallout when you apply them, I will say. It's very, 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 very hard. Trust me, very hard to completely eliminate fallout. It is there, but honestly, for how creamy and pigmented they are, it is not bad at all. I want to do a makeup tutorial using it, but I just feel like people are going to be like, really, Jaclyn, another warm, smoky eye? Because, hello, of course it's going to be a warm, smoky eye if I use this palette. It's all warm colors, but it's so beautiful. So now for eyelashes, I narrowed it down to my top 3, which was actually really hard because I wanted to bring in so many, but I was like, no, I only want to talk about the lashes that were introduced to me in the year 2016 that have now become a part of like my ride or dies for my eyelashes. And the first one that I have to talk about, of course, are the Slayla lashes by Flutter. These are so beautiful. They're drama, llama, but in the best way possible. They're so wispy and just like fluffy, and they are so stinking comfortable, you guys. Oh my gosh. I never feel the need to like rip off Slayla lashes at the end of the day. Like, a lot of lashes when I come home, I'm like, oh, the first thing I do is rip off my lashes and throw my bra across the room. But Slaylas, I feel like I could wear them for 15 hours and I wouldn't even notice because they're so comfortable. Second ones are intoxicating, and these are by Flutter Lashes as well. They are similar to Slayla's, but they're a little bit more dramatic, and these are what I'm wearing on my eyes right now today. So when I want a little bit more drama, these are what I go for right here. They are long, they are fluffy, they are flirty, they are spunky, they are va-va boom. These are definitely for the girl who like wants to go out and wants her eyes to pop. Last but not least, the Blinking Beauty Samantha lash. Oh my goodness gracious. So these, as you can see, are totally different than both of those lashes. They've got this big, beautiful, bold, like flip wing on the edge, and that's what I love about them, is on the inner corner, they're very short and more separated, and they get longer, and then thicker, as they go on, so they give you that natural, like, vroom, cat eye, and they are just gorgeous. Okay, holy cow. Time for lips. Okay, so hands down the most standout glosses to me of the year are actually the Kylie Cosmetics glosses, which I was not expecting. There has been so many, like, just so many stories and so much drama around Kylie Cosmetics in general that it just made me like, ugh. Her glosses though, they have grown on me so much. They've actually become, I think, my most worn glosses. I want her to come out with even more shades. She's got great neutrals, but of course me, I'm like, I want more. My top 4 shades for sure are literally Like, So Cute, and Candy K. I will swatch all of them for you. This is literally, and as you can see, they are very, very pigmented. The formula reminds me a lot actually of the Anastasia formula. This is Candy K right here. More of a rosy undertone, really pretty. This one I love because it is so pale, and this is called So Cute. So as you'll see, this one is very, very pale, and it honestly looks even paler than that on the lips than it does on my hand because my hand is so white. But on the lips, it is pale. So if you're looking for a really, really nude gloss, this is it right there. And then the last one is Like. And I wore Like crazy. Sounds funny. Like was probably the most worn one for me. Like and Literally and So Cute were the 3 most worn ones. I wore them constantly. Like, if you see me with a darker glossy lip, I'm telling you it's either Like or Literally. I wore them so much the past 4, 5 months. I don't know, I'm kind of bad with time, but the past couple months I've been in love with these shades. I have 2 Anastasia glosses that really stood out to me in the year of 2016 for sure. The first one is Undressed, and the second one is Kristen. They are really pigmented, as you can see. With one swipe they look like that. So Undressed is the super nude one, and then Kristen is more of the rosy one. Kristen actually looks a lot like Kylie and Candy K. Let me do a comparison swatch, because I know everyone loves a comparison swatch. Oh yeah, they are really, really similar. So there is Kylie Candy K, and then there is Anastasia Kristen. Kylie Candy K might have a pinch more peach in it, just a pinch, but they are really, really similar, really similar. Marc Jacobs glosses. I talked about these last year, my Best of Beauty. They're one of my favorite glosses ever. Unlike the Kylie Cosmetic glosses and the Anastasia glosses that are very crazy pigmented and you don't even need a lipstick to wear them, these are a totally different situation. These have a minty scent to them and they are much more of a sheer, shiny, wet looking lip. So this one right here is the shade Pretty Thing. And like I said, way more sheer. You can see it just looks wet and shiny and glossy. Pretty Thing is a great universal color. Sugar Sugar, I can't believe I'm swatching this again. It's all I talk about. It's my favorite one for sure. It's so, so beautiful. It's definitely nude. So if you're really tan, it's gonna be nude. It's not gonna have a color in it whatsoever. And then this one is called Love Drunk. And this one has a little tiny bit of flecks of shimmer in it, and it's a little bit darker. This one is more of like the shades that you were seeing from Anastasia and Kylie, more like the Candy K and the Kristen, but again, it's more sheer, so it's gonna look a little bit more natural, if you will, just very sheer and wet and glossy on the lips. Last glosses for the year are by NARS, and NARS glosses are amazing. They reformulated them, I think, in 2015, and they're just gorgeous. So this one right here is actually a clear gloss, and I will wear this by itself. Like, if I'm doing a super minimal makeup look with barely anything, I will just put on a clear gloss because I love how wet it makes the lips look, and it just keeps your lips feeling hydrated all day, but it doesn't actually give you color, because sometimes I feel like I don't really want color right now, but I still want my lips to have something happening. This is just gorgeous. I've been using this like crazy recently, and this is in the shade Corsica. Wait, no. Corsica. Did I say that right? Corsica? Corsica? This one is a really, really beautiful rosy shade. And what I love about these is it's kind of a combination of the Marc Jacobs gloss and like the Anastasia or Kylie gloss, because they're pigmented, but they still have a very intense, wet, glossy look and feel. So it's kind of like those two glosses had a baby. And then this one, of course, Chelsea Girls. This is like my favorite go-to staple because it is just that beautiful, gorgeous, peachy pinky nude, and it looks amazing on a ton of skin tones. Okay, we're gonna finish this video off with liquid lips. I can't believe I'm actually getting to the end of this video. What? I thought this day would never come. The first are by Lipland, and these are both by Amra, I believe. I know this one is for sure because it's called Reezy. I talked about this a lot here on camera and on Snapchat. It is a gorgeous peachy, primarily peach, I would say. It's got a little bit of a pink in there, and it's definitely more of a nude if you have tan skin. Like on me right now, it's not nude. It's like a pinky peach. But when it was summertime, this was a beautiful nude on my skin tone. But it's really gorgeous, and I love the formula. Their first time around, on their first collaboration, the formula was kind of like, not what I was hoping for. But once they like came back a second time, they made some changes and adjustments, and now I really, really like this formula. This is in the shade Spotlight, much more of a nude compared to Reezy, as you can see. Got more of like a mauve-y undertone to it. I love this one. And this one is nude, like on my skin tone right now, it is a nude on me, which I love. ColourPop and Kathleen Lights teamed up in 2016 to come out with a liquid lipstick in the shade 0.0, and I fell in love. This is looking crusty and dusty because I used this shade like crazy in 2016. It's, I don't even know how to describe it. It's a brown. It's like a medium brown with like a tint of mauve purple in it. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Too Faced Melted Matte Liquid Lipsticks. I believe these came out in 2016, or maybe they came out in 2015, but I was late to jump on it. I'm not really sure. This is in the shade Child Star, and I use this a lot in the year. Oh, it looks very similar to Lipland Spotlight. As you can see, it's right here. It's very similar. Oh my gosh, I can't. Two liquid lipsticks by Anastasia in the shades Naked and Crush. Naked is the one that stands out to me the most because of the fact that it is such a gorgeous nude liquid lipstick, and it's hard to find a really nude liquid lip. And I don't know why. A lot of people just want colorful liquid lips, I'm assuming, because that's what all the brands put out. But I love, as you can see by my hand, a good neutral liquid lip, especially because I like to put glosses over top of my liquid lips. So I like to put on a liquid lip that's nude. Good Lord, how many times can I say liquid lip in the past 30 seconds? Honestly, like if you could count and like turn that into a drinking game, you'd probably end up hospitalized. What I love is that I'll put on a nude liquid lip, and then I'll put on a gloss over top, and it'll make that nude lip bulletproof. Like it'll last all day because of the fact that the liquid lip is gonna stay on for so long, but then the gloss just makes it glossy. So that was kind of like my thing that I did in 2016. and that's why I loved nude liquid lips so much. This is Anastasia Crush. It's got more of a pinky undertone right there more than the rest of them, but still a really nice nude, and especially if you're more tan, darker in skin tone, this will be a nude on you. And then the last three, for this one, I'm gonna start off with this red because I have been wearing this color. It's what I have on my lips right now. I have been wearing it throughout the entire holiday season, and anytime in 2016 that I just wanted like the best, truest, prettiest red, this is what I would go for. I'm actually getting low and it feels like it's just about to run out. And as you can tell, this is by Jeffree Star Cosmetics and it is in the shade Red Rum. Oh my God. I told someone on Twitter that it was ho ho ho. I messed up. I don't know why I thought this was ho ho ho. Anyways, sorry. It is Jeffree Star Cosmetics Red Rum. As you can see, it is like such a true, beautiful red shade. I love the formula of Jeffree Star Cosmetics. It is such a pretty color and it's so pigmented. I do not have to go over it 2 times to get it to like achieve the redness that I want. Literally like a swipe and it's done. The last 2 liquid lips are also by Jeffree Star Cosmetics and they are also nudes. And I loved these shades. The first one is in the shade Mannequin. I think I used this in a tutorial at some point. I'm sure I did. Such a beautiful nude right here. Gorgeous. Definitely like one of my top go-to nude liquid lips. Again, one of the things that I love about Jeffree Star's liquid lips is the fact that they are thin but pigmented, and that's what I want in a liquid lip, because the way to achieve the perfect liquid lip like effect is to just do one swipe in the center of your lips, and that is the thing that's gonna make your liquid lips not dry out your lips and not get crusty and crumbly and get butthole lips so quickly. It's just to do one swipe. So when you find a liquid lipstick that is thin but pigmented, that's the goal. And then the last one is called I'm Nude, and it is nude. It's nude, and I love it! In case you are someone who's looking for like the nudist liquid lip possible, so far, the one that I have found that is the best is Jeffree Star I'm Nude. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video, you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed. I know it was a long one, so if you're still here, like big hug, honestly. Like, yes, my homies. You're my homies for still being here with me. Thank you. If there's anything that I missed in this video that you feel like, what the hell, Jaclyn? You mean to tell me that you did not love blank in the year of 2016? Leave that in the comment section down below. Whatever standout product that just pops to your mind that you loved, if it was not in this video, leave it down below. Or if it was in this video and you love it too, leave it down in the comment section. I would love to read your comments. I just want to say one more time, even though I gave you my thank you on Snapchat just again, thank you so much for being with me through the year of 2016. Honestly, not a day goes by where I am not grateful and so thankful and so blessed to have you guys in my life. Honest to God, it's hard for me to even talk about it because I get so emotional. I never dreamed that this would be my life. I never dreamed that I would be blessed enough to actually have so many supportive people that like me and actually want to watch my videos. It took a long time for me to come out of my shell. And I want to say that for those of you who are feeling insecure and awkward and uncomfortable about starting your own channels or putting yourself on camera or maybe just putting yourself out there or maybe going up to the guy that you like and talking to him or introducing yourself. If you're scared of something, don't be scared to do it, because I was really scared to do this and I did it. My mom and my husband pushed me to do it, and because of you, this is where I am. And because of you, 2016 was one of the best years, and I hope 2017 is even better. And I'm just forever grateful for everything you guys have done for me, and it doesn't need to be the New Year or Thanksgiving or Christmas for me to acknowledge that. It's every single day of my life. Not a day goes by where I'm not thankful to have you in my life. Every time a subscriber comes up to me in public, I walk away feeling blessed. I love you guys so much, and I wish there was a way that I could actually thank you guys more than just a giveaway, and I feel like I'm going to. I put my heart and my soul into some products that you guys are gonna get to finally see in the year of 2017, and that is gonna be my thank you, is giving you guys the best products that I can physically give you. That's gonna be my thank you. So yeah, I just love you guys so much. Don't be afraid to follow your dreams. Honestly, don't be scared. Like, you can do anything. You can do anything. So I love you so much. Thank you for being with me through 2016. Thank you for starting 2017 with me. I love you, and thank you for watching this video. Mwah! Bye, guys.